ladies and gentlemen, thank you for coming to our session tonight. This is a very, very special session that, somehow me and Nazrin, when we got together, we just say, come on, let's do something. And that's it. This idea came about. And we've decided just to, collaborate and combine our resources, ourselves together and, do something for people, right? So, in fact, this program is part of a new, something new that I'm trying out. I'm planning to do a series of this learning program, and I brand them under what I call Inspiring Learning with Lily Lau, right? And today is the first series. I have plans to do more of such by inviting other trainers, speakers, whoever, right? The special people, yeah? So, yeah, Nazrin, maybe, we go on to the next slide. Right, so this is a little bit about me. For those who are meeting me for the first time, just to give you a little background of who am I, where I come from, and, why am I here, right? Just to share a little bit, I started training in 2005, and I did not come from the training industry. And truly, when I decided to switch career, I was restarting all over again, right? And the key point was I met Arthur Kamazi, who was my guru, and I took the whole DC program from him. And after, when I completed, I've decided, yeah, why not? Do something different. I mean, it is not like, something that is out of the plan or anything. I was planning for something. I wasn't sure what is it that I want. But definitely what I knew was I was very fed up with my work. That was where I was, and I was looking for something. So what is that something, and somehow I landed in DC, right? And after, discovering my color brain, my emotional drive, and, went deeper and, do some soul searching, right? My answer was to change, right? To transform, to do something that is different. So I took that courage, decided to go into training, and I was in the first batch of Arthur Kamazi, and I developed, after I was certified, I was the pioneer. I consider myself the pioneer, and I brought in Colored Brain as a business to Malaysia, and I collaborate with Arthur to do the work. Yeah, so here I am 15, 16 years down the line. Yeah, so today is not really to share so much of my story, but just to give a little bit background, right? Where I come from and in the training industry. 012, so it is almost 10 years now. And truly, I enjoy my work, and I've been meeting people. That's part of the enjoyment. And I've been, doing lots of training. Yeah, so that's a little bit about me. So I will pass on to you, Nazrin.
Thank you, Lily. So this is an honor because it's the first time I'm sharing a stage with my own teacher, and I've only just been recently certified in Colored Brain. So any of my seniors, big brothers and big sisters here, I apologize if whatever I say tonight will be off bat. It's not exactly what is in line. So I'm practicing. My name is Nazrin, and I am Malaysian born. And long before I knew that adults needed training, I did silat training. So it was only much later I realized that, orang tua also need to learn some more. So I started my career in the training industry in 1997. But when you talk about training in Malaysia, you mean corporate training, like that. So in that case, I count 2004 as my beginning, which was just a few years later. And my very first client was Shell, the most difficult client on the planet, and I got that one first. But I must say that was a good experience because that gave me the grounding to be able to do all other types of clients. And both Lily and I come from a similar background in that we were both part of giant consulting firms, which nobody likes, and they squeeze the heck out of you for as little pay as possible. But we got a lot of good experience. So I left in 2015 due to work-life balance opportunities. So what we have since 2015 is I've been doing work in Malaysia, Brunei, and Cambodia. primarily with my workshops. I call them professional work skills. I have 28 of those workshops. And that basically is everything you would normally call soft skills, but I didn't like the term. So I went to market calling it professional work skills. And guess what? Clients also get fed up of the term soft skills. So when I come and I say I have professional work skills, they go, "What is that? Wow, so new." That's when I discovered the power of differentiation and branding. When you make yourself different, you make yourself look different, and you present, you package your courses in such a way where they believe it's new, so they look at it and they see something totally different. So as a result of that, I've been teaching other people how to do this as well, how to create a unique approach to whatever you do, so that clients will see its uniqueness. If you call it soft skills, they will think it's the same as everything they've seen before. So as a result of that, quite a lot of my friends who have sat with me, I've shown them how to package it slightly differently. So we'll talk about that right at the end of today, at the end of tonight's session. But basically, this is it. I like fun. If you come to my sessions, I think about 60% of the time it's me laughing. I think Jurita and Haja can confirm that. The rest of the time I'm teaching and giving you some knowledge. But aside from that, my claim to fame only started last year, I guess. I was in the right place and the right time with the right piece of knowledge. I created a course called the Virtual LearnCaster certification. And that basically, in a nutshell, is teaching trainers how to teach online. That's the easiest way to explain it. But if you're nobody, if you have no teaching background, you're not a teacher, you're not a trainer, you're not an instructor, and you come to this course that I've created, you might get lost. So I always say, please have some sort of teaching background so that you know what we're talking about when you come in. So that's the third logo right there. The first logo is my company called InSync Learning. The second logo is the Capacity Specialist. I'm a co-owner of this company based in Cambodia. So in Malaysia, I do more professional work skills training. In Cambodia, we do more behavior change projects with clients. So that's a little bit about me. I'm going to hand the virtual mic back to Lily, and we're going to kick off the session tonight. Thank you, everyone, for coming. Here we go.
Okay, so here we are. Yeah, here we are, right? I mean, today we're going to, more or less, we want to give you a little bit of content and going to share some stories and right? In fact, this journey is actually the journey of self-discovery, and you just want to make it very simple. You are planning to travel from Kuala Lumpur to Singapore. Right now, although it's COVID and our borders are closed, but just think about that, right? The time when you are able to travel again. Tina, you're from Singapore, right?
Yes, I am.
Right. So imagining, we will be going to Singapore. Yeah, or you coming to Kuala Lumpur, yeah?
That's physically, but then in this case, it's to the world virtually.
Yeah. Okay, good. So when you need to plan, when you need to travel, right? Many of us are very used to, just pack your bag and go, right? Whether for work or whether for holiday. But whichever one, right, there must be. Okay, so we are talking about planning for a journey, whether you're planning for a holiday or planning for work, right? Some people are very used to traveling, right? The things that they do is pretty standard and pretty fixed, right? The question here is, no matter where you go, there is actually a lot of planning, whether in your mind or, right? Even along the way, for those who don't really plan, right? As you go along the way, there's still some planning that you need to do there and then on the spot. So question like, where do you start from? Where is your final destination? How to go? Where to go, right? With who do you go? When to go? Stuff like that. Now, we are just creating this as a metaphor and to bring you through this journey, and through that, Nazrin and I are going to explain, right? What's in your mind, that kind of thing. So that is the story, how we want to relate, your self-discovery and your quest for success. Okay. With that, I will hand over back to Nazrin.
The analogy that we give of, the quest to success, the ability to get from here to there, is that if you view your quest as a journey, literally like a journey from going from KL to Singapore, of course, the line that Lily has put there, we put there, go straight to Singapore, which is nigh impossible because the roads are not straight. But when you think about it, before you get somewhere, you need to know where you're going. That's number one, right? So you have that. You need to know where you're going. And then most important after that is you need to know where you are. If I gave you a map and I said, where do you want to go? You go, okay, I want to go to Singapore. But then if you don't know where you are, how are you going to plan to get there? So the things that you want to take into account are, number one, know exactly where you want to be. So here's the thing I want to ask you to do right now, guys. Okay, it is 24th. I've lost it. It's 24th June 2021. Right now. 24th June 2022. If you have a pen and paper right now, 24th June 2022, I want you to write down where do you want to be by then? Maybe not physically where, but in what situation, in what state do you want to be in, financially, socially, health-wise, relationship-wise? Can you do me that favor, please? It doesn't have to be a long statement. Just to experiment with us tonight as a case study. I'm going to give you about 30 seconds to write down on a piece of paper, where do you want to be in 1 year's time exactly? In what state? Physically, mentally, socially, relationship-wise, financial-wise, whatever. Okay? So I'm going to start the clock for 30 seconds. Please do that for me now. All right, I'm giving you a bit of extra time. If you are done and you're happy, at least first draft happy with what you've written down, please type in the word done to the chat. If you're happy, first draft with what you have, please type in done. Thank you, Brother Yusra. All right, I shall assume that everyone is done. So here's the thing. For those of you who are already DC certified, you know what I'm about to say, right? You know that on your journey to get somewhere, there are a few things that you need to be aware of. Number one is, of course, you need to have your target. Your target is exactly where you want to be. So if we look at this, the clearer the target you have in your mind, if you know exactly what Singapore looks like, if you know exactly what the causeway looks like, if you know exactly what the immigration and customs look like, if you know exactly what Woodlands look like, when you get there, you will know you've arrived. So these are the landmarks we need to have in order to know whether we have succeeded at the end of our journey or not. So if you don't have a clear picture of this in your mind, how are you going to know you'll get there, right? You're going to have to trust other people, say, oh, this is Singapore. But if you know you have this picture in your mind, the moment you step into that, you step in front of your target, you'll know that's that, right? And you know, some people have this. A woman says to me, I have this vision in my mind of a perfect man, of what I want, someone I want to marry. And I'll know when I see him. Well, I don't know whether she got there or not, but the idea is it was so vivid in her mind, she knows the characteristics of the man she's looking for. What does that do? What does that do? Well, once upon a time, we didn't know how it worked. How is it that when we create that target in our minds, we suddenly start seeing these targets everywhere? Well, now we do know because we've done a lot more brain-related research in this century than in the last century than many centuries before that in human history. And we've discovered that there is a bunch of neurons inside the brain, and together they're called the reticular activating system. It sounds very, very academic, but basically this is your targeting system. Whatever you program, whatever you put into this system, it will filter out everything else except for that. So this allows you to focus on whatever you program. If you program a pink elephant into your RAS, you'll only start seeing pink elephants around. Here's the problem. There's not many pink elephants. But giving an example from one of my friends who fell in love with a girl, and his father-in-law, future father-in-law, has a orange BMW. Now, to be fair, there are not many orange BMWs in Malaysia, but what happened from then onwards, he started getting scared because he goes, is that my future father-in-law? He started seeing orange BMWs on the road everywhere. What is wrong? Is this what they call law of attraction? If you take the mystical side, the supernatural side apart, all you're left with is that now your brain is seeing the opportunities, it is seeing the path that you're supposed to take. So of course he starts seeing orange BMWs. But here's also the problem. If you misprogram your RAS, you start saying things like, I don't want a bad man. I don't want to marry an evil man. You program that into your head. You suddenly get attracted to only those kinds of people. So if you know how this works, you know why this works, then you can take control of this and you can actually move forward a lot faster. Know what Singapore looks like. Do your research. Go on the internet. Look for pictures of the causeway, stuff like that. So as you're going along, what are some of the challenges you're going to face? Well, you'll have external challenges, you'll have internal challenges. One of the biggest internal challenges is what we call blaming, right? So here's the thing you want to be aware of. Be careful of blaming other people if you cannot get what you want. So the RAS, you start seeing things, and if you don't get something as a result of maybe something happens, yeah, instead of moving forward and working on that goal, you start making excuses and you say, this is somebody else's fault that I can't get to Singapore. There's a traffic jam, there's a roadblock, this suddenly got new road, this is not on the map, what the heck is this? And instead of moving forward, you blame other people instead. So you want to be careful. You've set your target clear, well done. You've programmed your RAS, well done. Now you need to make sure that you don't actually create unnecessary excuses that will not get you there fast enough. So the next question is, what helps you to think through that process to help get you there? So I'm going to pass the virtual mic back to Lily, and Lily is going to help you figure this out.
Okay, so everybody just imagine that we are in this journey, and we are walking through maybe even some jungle scenery, and there's the waterfall, right? And that's the sound that you are hearing now. Now the question here is that along this journey, right, whether you are driving, well, I think driving will be better, right? Because you can have a little bit of time to look around, look at your right, look at your left, look at the green sceneries, right? And all that. The question here is, as you are driving, well, I take it driving, right? Because when you are driving, sometimes your mind can think a lot of things, right? I mean, your eyes are focused on the road, yet your mind, is still focusing, right? And you probably will be thinking of, many things that has happened to you. It could be a reflection. Question is that, right? Do you realize that people have different expectations in whatever that you are doing as a group, right? And even sometimes in a family, right? We are, doing the same thing, and yet there are different expectations. And people have different ideas how they want things to be done, right? And if, right, all these differences are not aligned, at the end, it is about conflict. It is about being disengaged with one another, right? Why does this happen? Right now, the key thing here is we want to bring you to a journey, to understand, how our brain works. Now, Nazrin just now talked about, the neuroscience part of the brain. Now, we are not really going into all that science part, but what I want to say here is that we are born genetically different from one another, right? And because of that, how you think, right, even with your spouse, even with your children, right, although you are from the same family, right, there are still differences, right? And sometimes it takes a while, right, to understand one another. And with that, right, I will quickly walk through with you a simplified version of what this color brain is. Nasrin, can you turn to the next slide? Right. So this is, the world of the genetic processing, how, you look at your world, right? Now, based on studies, when you need to think, right, your brain will run through very quickly, its thinking cells, right? And we call this the processor, right? And this processor, it all depends on which mechanism that you have it. And based on study, we just simplified them into 4 different colors, which is red, green, blue, and purple, right? depending on which mechanism that you have, and that's how your brain is going to process. I will just give you a very brief overview, right? The four colors, right? The red brain. The red brain, the keyword is called linear processor. Linear means straight line here. For a person who is a red brain, right? They think based on a framework. They need a structure, right? And anything, everything, right? They will always look far ahead. What is the end result? What is the end plan? How does the end picture looks like? They need to get clarity of that end result. Once they get that clarity, their brain will just work backwards and do the step-by-step brain processing, right? So to them, everything is logic and linear, right? They need to think through based on facts, based on logic, and process it around that way, right? And then you have the green brain. Green brain, the keyword written here is chaotic. Well, if you look at it, right, you'll be wondering, wow, chaos. Well, in the literal sense, a green brain think in a chaotic manner. Nothing is connected to a green brain. The beauty is that the green brain get things done through a chaotic manner, right? Anything, everything, they do not, the way they visualize the picture, it may not be connected, but they connect it through their own physical action, right? When I say that, which means a green brain person, they understand things through doing it, through the kinesthetic way, right? They need to do in order to understand. Once they do that, right, then they will realize, oh, this is how it works. That is how it works, and they connect their information in that manner. And once with that, they see the whole picture. Okay. Let me go to the purple brain first. Purple brain, the keyword here is relational. And anything, everything, right? A purple brain person needs information. They need massive data in order to connect. And their mind, right, actually works like a huge database. They will have all the information, and it is all categorized inside their mind, or even when it is translated into their lifestyle, they are very neat and tidy and organized. They like everything to be placed nicely, yeah, and they will categorize, they will index it, they will keep things neat and tidy, and they know where the things are kept. So in a real life situation, a purple brain connect through the information that they have, and that is translated that they like to create systems. Okay. Then lastly, we have someone who is the blue brain. A blue brain person is the intuitive type. Anything, everything, right? They have their sixth sense, which is very, very strong. All of us do have our sixth sense. It's just that a blue brain person, their sixth sense is extra sensitive, extra alert compared to the other three colors, right? So they are the people type. Anything, everything, right? They sense around. Their sensory system, right, will process very strongly by going through the feelings, the feelers type, right? And they will know how you think, how you feel, not really how you think. They can sense how you feel, right? Whether you're happy, whether you're not so happy, that kind of thing. And because of that, right, a blue brain likes to connect people, and that is their strength. Anything, everything that they do, it is about the people. So having said that, because we have all these different processes inside us, when we are together as a team, right, whether you're in a car or whether you're traveling, right, each and every one, although we may have the same objective, how we want to reach the objective, the destination, and in this case, we are talking about Singapore, right? All the four colored brain people may want to do it differently, right? So that's where, if you do not understand one another, that's where problems may happen, conflicts, right? And misunderstanding can happen. So this is where, right, we want you to realize that and bring this, to your understanding, right? How how much do you know about yourself, and everyone that you are with think differently. Okay, so that's a very quick summary version of what colored brain is. And with that, I will pass the virtual mic back to Nazrin.
Thank you very much. So, second question for you guys is whether you already know this or you don't know this, based on what Lily said tonight, what colored brain do you think you are? Of course, you can take the test. The test is a little bit expensive. We don't have that tonight, but let's just do a little bit of a hypothesis. Okay, what colored brain do you think you are based on what Lily just explained? Give us that answer in the text chat. For those of you who already know, please tell us. Okay, Melda is green. She thinks she's green. Okay, Janice is green. Ifra, linear. Anybody else? Green and purple. Green and purple. Okay, Juwita.
Sama nak dua-dua.
Tak boleh. Green je. Ambil green je. So we got purple. Thank you. Anyone else? More towards red, but sometime purple. Okay, we keep the sometime. Let's talk about the purple. Blue, purple, and red. Semua nak bulut.
Hajar more tamak than me.
Hajar is tamaka, I can see. Some of all. All right, thank you very much. So we won't have time to inspect everyone tonight, but I want you to take a deep inspection of if you were going from Kuala Lumpur to Singapore or wherever you are, right? So you want to go to some place. How would your colored brain affect how you plan? How would your colored brain affect how you decide on which route to get there? I'll tell you this, being green brain, and my wife knows this, so she's just walked off. My wife knows this. I will see something interesting and I say, let's stop. Jom kita try makan kat sini. Let's stop and let's explore this. Oh, there's another road. Let's try and go into this road because alang we are here. Let's go and take a look at it. So each and every one of us will process this differently because we think differently. So the idea is if you know yourself very well, then you control your actions and you understand how you do things. Okay, why we do things, that's a different thing. It's not a man thing. No, it's just if you have a green husband, that's pretty much that. Okay, so we're closing in on to the end of the night. So let's talk about what will help you get there. So sure, you're planning. This is how you process information. This is how you plan to get there. But as you start your journey and you start going in that direction, you're going to be facing some obstacles, certainly. What drives you there? What keeps you on that road there? So here's a concept I want to share with you, especially if you haven't seen it before. This is called the emotional drives. You want to write that down. Okay, if you don't know this, you want to write it down. Emotional drives. And basically, in directive communication, there are 8 emotional drives. The simplest way to explain it is this is the reasons people do things. So as I reveal them one by one, I want you to start thinking very deeply. What do you think drives you amongst these 8? So the first one, love and belonging. We do things because of love and belonging, and we do things to other people because we want to express love and belonging. So it works both ways. We expect love and belonging from other people, and we also give love and belonging to other people. All right. So what is this? What is this? This is acceptance. This is feelings of inclusion, being part of a team, making other people feel like they're part of the team, welcoming them when they come into a WhatsApp group, stuff like that. Okay, so that's love and belonging. Second one is security and control. So some people might going, that's my husband right there. Security and control is wanting to know a lot of information when you think you don't need to know information. Why are you asking me so many questions? No, they need that information. They need to know everything in order to feel safe. Okay, so not only do they need security and control from other people, they also give security and control to other people, which means that sometimes they can be a bit overbearing. Yeah, if it's overboard, they place a high premium on safety. They want to make sure everything's locked up, everything's right, and they'll always check things 2 or 3 times. So there's no right or wrong to this one. That's what drives them. Number 3, diversity and change. Okay, that's a little bit me, if not a lot me. Diversity and change means, this kind of drive drives people to want to try something new every day. Go makan at a different restaurant every day. In fact, after I learned DC, then I realized, yeah, every time I go to Petronas, I will purposely look for a drink I've never bought in there just to try it out. And sometimes it's a hit or miss lah. Sometimes what's up? Sometimes like, oh, I'll never buy that again. So diversity and change drives me because I love trying out new things. I love going to new places. I love playing with new toys. Recognition and significance. Okay, recognition and significance means that you love hearing your own name. That's the simplest way to explain it. It means that you love it when people acknowledge you, acknowledge your work, acknowledge what you do. So some people are driven by this. No judging, yeah, guys, no judging. Recognition and significance drives some people because they want to be known. They want people to acknowledge them. Then we have achievement, and that's different from recognition in that achievement is, I don't care if nobody knows this, but I know I've done it. I've completed it. I have achieved it. Then we have challenge and growth. It's different from diversity and change in that challenge and growth is you orang pantang dicabar lah, I would say. That's the easiest way to say it. You cannot resist meeting a challenge. You cannot resist like learning new things, going out and just challenging yourself, which is different from diversity and change. Trying out new things and bungee jumping are like two totally different things. They could be part and parcel, but it's more about challenging yourself, proving to yourself that you can do something. Then we have excellence. One thing to complete is achievement is one thing. Excellence means that you want to be the best of the best of the best of the best. Yeah. For Nazrin, my achievement is I finished my degree. Fantastic. Right. I was not held back. I finished my 4 years exactly, but I did not get Dean's List. So Dean's List is that guy who insisted, no, I'm not going to go play with you. I'm not going to play PlayStation. I'm going to get my Dean's List. And he got his Dean's List. I did say no judging, right? But today I'm wondering, where the heck is that guy? Where is he in his Dean's List? I wonder. Juita's laughing. Last but not least is contribution and responsibility. The sense that you want to give back, you want to give to people without actually expecting anything in return. So contribution and responsibility is you doing something for other people, and in some cases also expecting that other people do something for you. Not in a bad way, but in a good way. So here's the question, guys. If I were to ask you to rank these 8, which do you think will be your top 3? Okay, think very carefully. Which of these do you think will be your top 3? So think about it for about 30 seconds. Top 3 only. Tell me in the chat. 1, 2, 3. Number 1 apa, number 2 apa, number 3 apa. Okay, so Haja says she thinks number 1 is achievement. Number 2 is, what is this? What is CNG? Challenge and growth. Number 3 is love and belonging. Okay. Juita says diversity and change is the first one.
Yeah,
Tertekan.
I know I cannot have it, okay.
I understand. Tina says contribution is her number 1. Okay, Weiling says diversity, challenge, love and belonging. Imelda says love and belonging, contribution, responsibility, recognition, and significance. Okay, Afiq, Afiq says security control. Oh my God. Recognition and excellence. Oh my God, Afiq, I never knew that. Okay, guys. So now you know your top 3. Now I want you to choose where would you put number 7 and number 8, the bottom 2. But do not tell me. Okay, don't tell me. You've told me your top 3, that's fine. Don't tell me your bottom 2. Just write it down somewhere. And then I'll make a statement and you listen to that statement. Okay, so Juita got the top 3. Good. Now you think about your bottom 2. What is your bottom 2? But do not tell me. All right, here we go. Here's the statement I'm going to make. You look at the top 3 and ask yourself, whenever you felt excited about doing something, whenever you felt driven, you felt energetic, you felt passionate about doing something, one of these 3 was present in that situation, was present in that equation. It was present in the team. It was present in the environment. It was there. Okay. One of the top 3 was there, or maybe both or all 3. It was there. The bottom 2 that you identified, whenever you procrastinate, whenever you hate to do something, whenever you go, why must I do this? Whenever you use the word I have to, I must, I'm forced to, You tell people, I have to go home, or I must go home, rather than say, I'm going home to feed my family. I'm going home to spend time with my children. Whenever you use the word have, must, force to, it probably means that bottom two is there in that situation, within the people surrounding you, within that space, in that environment. Now, please tell me in the text chat whether you agree with that or not. Tell me agree or tell me disagree. You ask yourself that question and you flash back to all the things before. Do you agree or do you disagree? Thank you, MC. Hajar's times 100. Brother Yusra says agree. Okay. All right. So without taking too much time tonight, all I'm going to say is this, right? Knowing what drives you and knowing what disdrives you can also help you make smart decisions. Because if you give up halfway going to Singapore because of something that's not there, it's not driving you, so you go like, patah balik lah, don't need to go lah. You're doing a disservice to yourself. Why? Because you've already targeted, your RAS is filled with that. And you might become disappointed with yourself. Why did I go home? Why did I not decide to continue my degree? Why did I give up pursuing this woman? I could have been married to her by now. Why did I stop doing this business? Maybe because what was present there was not what drives you, but what disdrives you. So the answer is this: be aware of what drives you and what doesn't drive you. And even if what doesn't drive you is there, you need to start searching for what can drive you anyway. So what? You don't like challenge and growth. And when there's challenge and growth there, you freeze. Fine. Can you find something that fulfills your love and belonging, or fulfills your recognition and significance? Because that's high on your list. Guys, I wish you all the best, and I pray you get to your Singapore. I'm going to hand back to Lily for her to wrap this up. And whatever you've written down for that 1 year coming up, I hope we actually do meet in 1 year's time, and you tell me, Nazrin, you know that silly activity you asked us to do, I actually programmed in my RAS and I actually got there. So that's my wish for you guys on the 24th of June, 2021. Lily, back to you.
Hey, thank you. Yeah, based on Nazrin's storytelling, here we are. Finally, we arrive at our destination. The question here is, how have your journey been? Right? Is it something that you look forward to, exciting, enjoyable? Or, along the way, you have some arguments, with your family members, or you just feel that, you just get a little bit fed up, that kind of thing. Whatever that we are talking here, right, it consists of two dimensions about what is it that makes you happy, which is what makes you feel fulfilled, and how do you do it to get that fulfillment. So this two basically is, in simple term, is being translated to what we say your behavior, right? But it does comes from you through your heart and through how you think, right? So this is where what we want to say here is, by knowing, right, what makes you happy, by knowing how do you like things to do, and that is where you can know yourself better, and that's where you can know your personal potentials, your area, whether are you really are doing what you are doing, or you are being in the circumstances like what you Nazrin say here, I must go home, I must do this, right? When you say that you must, right, that means you are just doing, for example, to get your salary, right? And at the end of it, right, how do you feel? So here we are, we have targeted that 1 year, next year, if things have changed for you, how is it like? Sorry, who is that? The sound? Hang on.
Zunaini, can you mute your microphone?
Okay, yeah. Okay, good. Okay, sorry, Zunaini, right? Because it was a little bit interrupting. Yeah, so that is what we are saying here. At the end of the day, right, this is a journey of self-discovery. We have kind of like summarized it in a very, very simple way. And we hope that it has given you a perspective, right? How you look at yourself in order to uncover and to achieve what is it that you want to achieve. So maybe Nasri, what's the next slide?
Well, we're going to go to a Q&A, but we have an advert right now. So I'm going
Yes.
to have Lily explain to us. And then after we do the advert, it literally is an advert, guys. And then we'll go to Q&A. I promise. Okay.
But now we know where the water sound was coming from.
Yeah. Wait a minute. Wait a minute.
See? That's where it's coming from. You need to change the gambar, la Lily.
Yeah, maybe because of this picture that I've chosen.
Is he,
Okay,
is he behind you?
That was a good one, Juita. Yeah.
Is he behind you? Okay, okay. Sorry.
Okay, well, the advert here is that, right? For those who would like to find out a little bit more about colored brain, right? I do give free consultation, truly, literally, right? I do spend time with you, and I play some cards with you, and see, what is a colored brain, right? So do contact with me. If you don't know my WhatsApp or email, you can get it in a short while. If not, that's where I can help you in that sense, right? Because this is just a general 1 hour. I cannot be going very deep. If I have that time with you on a one-to-one basis, I can spend a little bit more time, and you can uncover yourself more on that basis, right? And of course, right, that little advert. This is a small advert. I have a bigger advert here. Yeah, Nasri, you can go to the next slide. Right, so I have my upcoming events, and for those who are trainers or coaches, and if you are interested, to learn some of these things that I'm doing and Nazrin is doing, and there are a few other people here who are also DC certified, right? I'll be doing this trainer certification. Module 1 is colored brain, and then once you have completed colored brain, you can continue to the full, what we call the directive communication trainer certification. Colored brain is one module of the 4 modules, actually, right? If you want to find out more, I will spend that time to explain that to you. Yeah, so if you're interested, it is coming up on July 26th, and this is done virtually for colored brain. Yeah, so anyone who's interested, do get in touch with me, and I'll give you that consultation as well, and I will assess your colored brain, and I'll also share a little bit more about your emotional drives. Okay, so I'll hand this over to you, Nazrin.
Thank you very much. So very quickly, I'd like to invite everyone to come over to my website. It's a new website, and because recognition and significance is my #1, I've decided to embrace it after I finished DC. Yeah, Juita is like, what? I used to have a company website that's still up, but then I realized that okay, if this is a need and it's fulfilled my need, I'm telling you, not only do I love this website because it's mine, I can actually do everything I want on it. You can probably see that I love to talk, but I also love to write. So as a result, I have collected quite a lot of my Facebook posts into themes, and I now have ebooks that you can download for free. This one is an ebook for how you run your virtual classes. This is a ebook is in English, and it focuses on how Silat can actually be used in real life, in social situations, in work situations. The analogies are perfectly aligned, and I just love this one. You can download this one. There are 2 more coming up soon, also for free. This shares with you how, as a trainer, how you market and how do you brand yourself in the learning industry in Malaysia specifically. And this is something that before I knew colored brain, I already had my way of doing stuff. After DC, even more supercharged. So this is coming soon, collecting what I wrote before, added on with colored brain and directive communication and a lot of stuff that I've learned since. So if you want to check it out, come to my website. Nothing paid there, don't worry. It's just one of my contribution responsibilities. Or just want to share stuff there. The paid stuff, okay. So I do have some upcoming events coming up soon. The first one is the Virtual LearnCaster. So we have a couple of friends here who are VLCs, and this is a program that, in a nutshell, teaches you how to teach online. That's it. That's basically it. And the second one is the breakaway course, which is also some people here are from that tonight. We've gotten quite a few interesting ROIs already, return on investment. People who have gone for this course and have been taken up by training providers, managed to market themselves to clients much better. So that makes me feel warm inside. And that's all I have for you tonight. If you're interested, it's all on my website. You can find the links there. And if you do sign up, we'll see you soon.